Hello, this is Tara Galliano. Welcome to my personal Facebook page. And I wanted to talk a little bit about vulnerability today. And I feel vulnerable. My beautiful and smart co-host, Mary, is actually not able to join me today because life happens, right? And when life happens, we need to attend to those things that are most urgent as they emerge. And she is doing just that as she needs to. And so I'm here without the banter, without the conversation, without the ability to really bounce ideas off of my lovely co-host. And for me, that's a vulnerable place to be. I so prefer having the opportunity to respond to another, and the initiation is a little bit more difficult. Hi, so glad you can join me today. So good to see you. I'm just talking about vulnerability. So this is the fourth in this 4-part series. We talked about boundaries, we talked about speaking your fantasies, and we talked about personas last time. And I would say we left the hardest for last, and it is really about vulnerability and how you show up vulnerably in your relationship. Oftentimes what I find and what I have done in the past myself is when I really want something, I demand it, or I become overbearing to get what I want, or I feel so attached to the right way or the outcome, and I forget my soft, vulnerable side to really ask for what I want in a soft, gentle, yielding way. And that really, for me, is about stepping into the feminine, which I think oftentimes gets overlooked as powerless or not of any use or a victim. And that is so not true. One of the most powerful lessons that I learned in my graduate studies was that my own vulnerability of being a mother of 2 very, very young children, one of them an infant and one of them a toddler. While I was in my studies, I felt so vulnerable, and that so many of my classmates felt like that was my superpower. That was my strength, to show up with that vulnerability of, I don't have it all together. I feel a little bit scattered, and my priority is my graduate work, but it also is being a mom. And so mom, graduate work, really important, tasks to accomplish, but I needed to focus on all of them. And that left me in a very vulnerable space, as I was not really that mature. I was only in my 20s, and recognizing how then I showed up in my relationship around that and the overwhelm. And I find that in my work as a sex therapist, that is often the place where couples forget to live, because it's hard to be in the vulnerability to really say what it is that you want and have the appropriate boundaries and have the fun escapades of trying on different personas, is that we forget, because in this culture, it's so endorsed that we know it all. Right? And when we don't know it all, and we could slip into this playful, creative, imaginative mode and really get into some juicy spaces with ourselves and with others when we allow, when we give ourselves permission, when we feel safe. And so that's what I wanted to say about vulnerability today. I would love to know what your experiences of vulnerability are in your relationships and how you show up vulnerably. Because really what happens is when we show up vulnerably in our relationships, we can create magic, and that magic is called intimacy. And who doesn't want more of that? So thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, you can follow me more on my page, Rediscovering My Body. I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel because I think this was really helpful, this 4-part series. And I would love to know your comments. And thank you so much for joining me today. Much love.